Good afternoon. How many opportunities do you have to pray each day? A lot of people think about praying when they're going to sleep. When I was younger, I can remember laying in bed, and as I was falling asleep, that's when I would say prayers. And like many of you, I was saying prayers and then fell asleep right in the middle of those prayers. Some people think about saying their prayers before each meal. Maybe sometimes it's only before one of the meals, the main meal of the day. So people will fold their hands and they'll bow their heads when they're sitting at the table. They'll come together as a family and say prayer at that time for the meal, but the rest of the time, they're not praying. Some people will think about it when they're doing their devotions. Maybe it's right away first thing in the morning. Maybe it's in the evening. Maybe it's at noontime. Whenever they're doing their devotions, that's when they're thinking about saying a prayer. When people get into emergency situations or they get into a tough spot, prayer might enter their mind at that time. I should be praying for something about this. Those are all good things to have in mind. Good things to be thinking about prayer in those moments. Did you know that you can actually pray all the time? There is not a moment that goes by in your day where you can't be saying a prayer. Whether it's a prayer right before you get in the car to go for a drive, whether it's a prayer right before you have to take a test or complete a homework assignment, whether it's a prayer as you go into the office that you would give your best that day, whether it's a prayer at your meals or at night before you go to bed, whether it's a prayer when you're watching the news over something that you heard, whether it's a prayer, you get the point? There are so many times for you to be praying. Prayers of thanks, prayers asking God for something, prayers of just living in the moment. There are so many times that you could be praying to God. And your invitation is to pray in all of them. It's not a command that you have to as obligation, but rather God invites you to pray. And this is what he says in Ephesians chapter 6, verse 18. At every opportunity, pray in the Spirit with every kind of prayer and petition. Stay alert for the same reason, always persevering in your intercession for all the saints. Spend your moments, spend your days in prayer, going to God, asking and thanking and praising and simply giving God the glory for all the things that He's done for you. You can spend every minute, because every minute is a moment that God has invited you to pray. Until we see each other again, the Lord's blessings on your day.